Whoa. I did not see you there. What are you doing in this alley?
Sorry. I did not mean to surprise you. I am just checking out the situation here since there have been robberies in this area lately. Why are you here?
I live in this building. I also know about the robberies. But why are you dressed like a comic book character?
I assure you that I am not a character as you call it. I am a real crime fighter.
You have to be kidding me. Do you truly expect me or anyone else to buy that? Besides, that mask makes you look more like a suspect than a superhero.
I can understand why you would think it strange. However, I am what I claim to be and I can prove it.
How will you do that? Can you fly or leap tall buildings in a single bound? Are you faster than a speeding bullet or more powerful than a locomotive? Can you bend steel in your bare hands?
No, I can't do any of those things, but due to my vigilance, I have thwarted several attempted robberies in the last few weeks.
Oh, I see. So you are vigilant. Is that your special power? What do you call yourself? Wait, let me guess. You are Vigilante Man.
No, I don't actually have any special powers. And my name isn't Vigilante Man. I call myself the Watcher.
Well then, Mr. Watcher. I am also vigilant and my powers are my natural rights, my constitutional rights, and my 38. I call myself Conceal Carry Connie. Do you have a weapon?
I do not carry a weapon. I do not want the authorities to think I am looking for trouble.
But that's exactly what you are doing. You are watching for crime and criminals in this neighborhood.
Yes, I suppose. But it is extremely dangerous to have firearms on the streets. Only trained professionals like the police should carry them.
If only police should carry them, then what do the rest of us do when the police are not around and a crime is being committed? How do we defend ourselves?
Do what I do, of course. Shout a warning so the criminal knows they are being watched. Then call 911 and let them handle the rest. I only get physically involved when it is clear that the assailant is not armed.
And you say you have stopped several crimes that way?
Why, yes. Yes, I have. Only
what?
most of the criminals did actually get away. But the point is that by making it known that they are being watched, they actually run away before they can do any real harm.
Watched. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. And contrary to what you say, I think the real point, the one you are ignoring, is that they're on a way to rob again some other day. Are you sure you are a crime fighter?
Well, what would you do? Shoot them?
In order to defend life or property, I would definitely shoot.
But in that case you were potentially taking a life. How could you justify that?
I have a better question. How can a criminal justify his crime?
I don't think he can, but you do not know that a criminal intends to cause harm.
You also don't know that he does not intend to harm. That is why you always assume that he will. It is the safest bet.
Bet? But isn't that just like gambling with someone's life?
Yes, it is. And much better to gamble with theirs than with mine.
But does not the law require you to be in fear for your life before you can use deadly force on someone?
Yes. There is some requirement to that effect. And remember, deadly force can be something other than a firearm. Still, it is unreasonable to impose a standard as subjective as fear.
How is it subjective? Doesn't it apply to all of us in the same way? And aren't we all subjective in our perception of the threat we are confronted with anyway?
That is my point. It is a one-size-fits-all standard that cannot possibly be applied in every case, because our perception of the threat varies so greatly. What matters most is the existence of an actual threat.
But aren't we all likely to be fearful to some degree during the commission of a crime?
Are you sure that mask is not cutting off circulation to your brain? Don't you see, if that is the case, then you are actually supporting my position, not yours. Because any claim of self-defense, including deadly force, would be justified as long as it can be proven that a crime was being committed.
I see your point, but in a case where you were not afraid, how would you claim justifiable self-defense?
That goes back to my point about the unreasonable standard imposed by the law. I can think of at least 3 scenarios in regard to fear that would help you see what I mean.
What would they be?
Before I tell you, first I must state emphatically that self-defense is a right, not a privilege. Additionally, Since it is a right, I cannot be denied whatever means I deem necessary to defend myself, including the use of a firearm.
I do not completely agree. However, I will allow these things for the sake of argument.
Based upon these necessary conditions, I will explain the three scenarios. First, consider someone who is of such diminished mental capacity that they are incapable of recognizing an actual threat. Does their condition diminish the existence of the threat, or change the nature of the threat?
No, I cannot say that it does.
Therefore, despite their incapacity, since the threat is neither changed nor diminished, neither is the right of self-defense.
I suppose that is acceptable.
Second, consider someone who is so afraid that they become paralyzed with fear, and therefore also incapable of defending themselves. Does their incapacity change the existence or nature of the threat?
No, it does not.
Therefore, again, despite their incapacity, since the existence and nature of the threat is not diminished, neither is their right to defend themselves.
I can also accept that scenario.
Okay, then let's go to the third scenario. Consider someone who is fully capable and confident in their ability to defend themselves, and therefore they are not fearful at all. Does their condition diminish the existence, or change the nature of the threat?
It might in certain circumstances, but what is your point here?
My point here is the same as the others. As long as the threat exists, the presence or absence of fear should not be required as a justification for the use of deadly force in self-defense.
That seems plausible on the surface, but did you hear that? Gotta go check it out.
Yes, you should, and I will go with you. You just might need my assistance.